Why hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So a few weeks ago I had someone comment on one of my videos saying that they had made bank from selling wedding items on Nookazon, and as it just so happens, in my previous Nookazon video where I bought and opened 1,000 mystery grab bags, I actually got a lot of wedding and nuptial items. So today we are going to try and sell a whole pocket's worth of wedding and nuptial items on Nookazon to see just how much we can make. I won't spoil the total right now, but I will say that we make a lot of bells from not selling all that many items. So I am considering doing a part 2 of this video where I try and sell a pocket's worth of Sanrio stuff. So if later in this video you like what you see, be sure to drop a like to let me know that that is something that you'd like to see in the future. But with that being said, let's just get started. So after I'd seen that initial comment, I checked out what the average selling prices for the wedding items were, and they were stupidly high. Cut to a few weeks later, when I finally got around to actually filming this video, the average prices were still super high, but I did notice that listings were fairly frequent, which could damage my chances of getting these items sold quickly. Again, I had got many wedding and nuptial items from the 1,000 mystery bags I bought from Nookazon previously, but I did supplement these items with ones which I'd actually got myself back during wedding season last year, as up until this point they'd just been sat in my storage gathering dust. So overall, I didn't lose any bells or have to spend any more this time round to gather the items we were selling today. During the selling process of this experiment, I wanted to utilize the stock listing feature, as up until now I haven't used it myself while selling. After taking note of what I was selling and creating my listings, I was a little bit concerned that I might have had too many nuptial items to sell, which had a lower average selling price than the wedding items which can be obtained from Reese and Cyrus. So 30 minutes after I'd created the listings, I hadn't got any offers, which was quite disappointing. I've mentioned on Nookazon videos before, but this may be due to the fact that the majority of site users are from the US, and I started filming at around midday UK time, so many of these American users may not have been online just yet. As I also mentioned earlier, the lack of offers could also have been impacted by how frequently new listings were popping up from other site users, which I think was especially the case for the nuptial items, as they can just be ordered through the Nook shopping app. But with that being said, we did eventually get an offer which was for 4 out of the 5 wedding flower stands, and that offer was for 396,000 bells. This offer did come in at under the average selling price for the item, but considering how it took me over an hour for this offer to come in, I've learned not to be picky. However, I did notice how this player had made offers on a few of my other listings too, which was super helpful. So after messaging this player for a little while, we actually made a deal for them to buy a bunch of the wedding items as well as a nuptial bell. In total, they paid 3 million bells for the wedding welcome board, 4 of the wedding chairs, 2 wedding tables, 2 wedding benches, 1 wedding head table, 4 wedding flower stands, and the 1 nuptial bell. While I was negotiating this deal with that buyer, I actually had another offer come in for the wedding arch for 10 Nookmile tickets. I accepted it and zoomed over to that island straight away. This player had a stunning island and was stupidly generous. Along with the payment of 10 Nookmile tickets, they also gave me 3 mystery bag gifts, which I didn't open until I got back to my island. And they actually left 3 bags of 99,000 bells, meaning they paid 10 Nookmile tickets and almost 300,000 bells for that one item. I know I say this in nearly every Nookazon video I make, but again, the kindness and generosity of some players never stops amazing me. After those first 2 trades, I relisted the remaining items, then about 10 minutes later, I had an offer in for the wedding cake for 99,000 bells. Another half an hour went by, and again, we hadn't had any more offers. So I relisted relisted again, and a short while later I got an offer on the wedding dress for 200,000 bells. A while later I got an offer on the remaining 2 wedding chairs, initially for 20,000 bells for both, which I think that, bearing in mind how the average selling price for this item was 100,000 bells per item, I decided to counter and ask for 99,000 bells for both. I know that this was also coming in at well under the asking price, but I'd already lost one offer on these chairs, so I decided not to push my luck too hard with this one. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I did also counter the offer on the wedding cake we sold earlier, as the initial offer came in again at far under the average selling price. After being online for about 5 or 6 hours and relisting the items a good few more times, I decided to call this Nookazon experiment for today, as I noticed that there were just some items which people had absolutely no interest in buying, like the nuptial ring pillows and nuptial door plates, which again I'd relisted about 5 times while I was online. So I had a wee look, and the listings for nuptial items were popping up far more frequently than those for wedding items. So looking back now, I'm not too surprised that I struggled to sell the remaining 18 nuptial items I had. I may keep these aside for a yard sale or another experiment at some point in the future, so I'm not crying over the fact that we didn't sell them today. But with that being said, I think we still made an absolute killing from the wedding items we did manage to sell. So while I'm sure some of you may have been keeping a rough running total, let's get to the exciting bit and talk about how much we made today. So in total, I made 3,695,000 bells and 10 Nook Mile tickets from selling just 19 wedding items and 1 nuptial item. As I did that group deal with that one player for many of the wedding items, and given the fact that I got some offers which were coming in at well under the average selling price, which I then had to barter with to increase, it's difficult to pinpoint which specific wedding items would be most worth selling if you're trying to replicate these results for yourself. I'd probably mainly go for the higher value wedding items like the arch, or ones which can be used outside of designing a quote-unquote wedding venue type of area. So perhaps also the flower stands, just because of how much more versatile they are in designing. But again, it's fairly tricky to pinpoint exactly which items are the best. The same, however, cannot be said for picking out the worst items for selling. I'd suggest ignoring the nuptial items entirely, as I struggled to even receive any offers on them at all. So if you're looking to make maximum bang for your buck, or rather maximum profit for time spent selling, again, just sell the wedding items if you have them kicking about in your storage, or if you have a hankering to go back and do the wedding event again a few times to get some heart crystals and to then buy the items from Cyrus. But anyway guys, I had a lot of fun doing this experiment today. Once again, I think this is yet another great way to make bells in Animal Crossing via Nookazon. Perhaps it's not quite the quickest, as my experiment reflected today, but while these items are in somewhat high demand, I definitely recommend you giving it a try for yourselves. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, I am considering doing a part 2 while I sell off some Sanrio stuff which I've accumulated over time. So if you've got to this point in the video and you did enjoy and are interested in seeing that, consider giving this video a like. Just another side note in here, but this video felt super apt for me to do right now. Over the last few weeks, I've been to 2 weddings, both of which were for very close family or family friends. It was also my parents' and one set of my grandparents' wedding anniversaries really recently, so it felt so right to do this video now. But with that said, friends, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to get to know me better, as well as some of the other amazing folks in this community, perhaps consider joining the channel Discord, the link to which will be in the description down below. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again soon.